Hi everyone, and welcome back to another video where today I'm going to attempt to predict the results and scores of week 7 of the Premier League season 2017-2018. Now you're probably wondering where my partner in crime is this evening. Well, he's had to go out. Last night we were going to do a video, but we went and watched Cardiff City play, beat Leeds 3-1 of course, and tomorrow we're out again, so I've got this small window this evening where I can actually produce this video. But that's enough for me jibber-jabbering. Let's have a look at last week's results and how we fared. So Nathan, or the Shmoo, predicted 8 correct results, one of them being a perfect result. So he had a grand total of 10. That perfect result was Swansea v Watford. He correctly predicted that Watford would beat Swansea 2-1, which they did. And myself, the Bluebird Legend, predicted 6 correct results out of the 10 matches. So I have a couple of shout outs to people who left their results in the comment section last week. The first one goes out to the Red Revolution. He actually had a score of 9 out of 10 by predicting 9 out of 10 results correctly. And I also have Ray M. Now he actually predicted 7 correct results, but one of his predictions was a perfect score, which was Everton beating Bournemouth 2-1. So both the Red Revolution and Ray M both ended up on 9 points. I'm going to be doing the same this week, so if you copy and paste the template, which I leave in the description below, into the comment section and make your predictions on week 7 results, then the highest scorer will be given a shout out in the next video. So that was week 6. Let's move on to week 7. So the weekend's first Premier League fixture is Huddersfield versus Spurs at Huddersfield. Huddersfield have done fairly well at the start of the season. You know, they got a pretty mean defence. Tottenham, you know, they've done okay scoring goals. They're 4th in the table. They've scored 10 goals and they've had 5 against in the 6 games that they've played. However, I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory to Spurs. I fully expect them to get the goals at Huddersfield. Huddersfield have had problems scoring, really. You know, they get the odd one here and there, but I can see this as a 2-0 victory for Spurs. And Nathan also predicts the same result and score as myself. He's gone for Huddersfield 0, Tottenham 2 as well. Okay, moving on to the second fixture, which is Manchester United versus Crystal Palace. Manchester United running riot at the moment, you know, beating teams. They had the victory last week against Southampton away. Okay, they only won that match 1-0. They could have got more. Southampton have been fairly resolute in defence, so they did, you know, they come away with a victory there. Crystal Palace, as we said in previous videos, can't score. You would have thought with Roy coming in, he would have shored up the defence, but they got absolutely mullered by Manchester City last week, 5-0. I can see a similar scoreline again this week. Hopefully Lukaku will get a hat-trick, because that'll bode well for my fantasy football team. I can see a 3-0 victory for Manchester United. Nathan, he's actually gone for a 5-0 victory for Man United. He thinks they're going to be absolutely decimated. And as he said in the previous video, he thinks Roy will be gone around about Christmas time. Okay, the third fixture of the weekend is Bournemouth versus Leicester. Bournemouth, they actually scored a goal last week against Everton in a 2-1 loss. Leicester are finding it hard to actually grind out victories at the moment, but they are scoring goals. Leicester will be going away to Bournemouth, and this is really a match that I can actually see them winning. You know, it's one that their manager really should be targeting, because they are down near the bottom of the table at the moment in 17th position, and I can actually see them coming away with a victory, and I predict that Leicester are going to win this one 2-1. Nathan, he actually thinks it's going to be a tight affair. Both teams he thinks will score, but he thinks it'll be Bournemouth 1, Leicester City 1. So the next fixture of the day is Stoke versus Southampton. Southampton having trouble scoring, Stoke having trouble winning. I think it's going to be a bit of a stalemate, and I can actually see this one rounding up as a 1-1. I think they will both score. Southampton, you know, they had a few chances last week against Manchester United, couldn't put them away, but I can see them actually getting a goal this week. So as I said, 1-1. Nathan, he's actually gone for a draw as well, but because Stoke and Southampton have had problems scoring, he's gone for a no-score draw, 0-0. Moving on to the next fixture of the weekend, which is West Bromwich Albion versus Watford. West Bromwich Albion, they've done okay. They've churned out results where they can. They've only scored the 4 goals and they've conceded 5 in those 5 matches that they've played. Watford scoring goals, had a great victory last week against Swansea, where I thought Swansea would actually win. Nathan actually predicted a 2-1 victory for the Hornets at the Swans. This week I can see a narrow 1-0 victory for West Brom. However, Nathan has actually gone for the complete opposite prediction, and he's actually gone for a 1-0 win to Watford. The next matchup is West Ham versus Swansea at the London Stadium. West Ham, they were losing 3-0 of course last week against Tottenham, brought it back to 3-2. Okay, Tottenham did have a player sent off. I don't think that really had any bearing on those goals. You could see West Ham coming back into that match anyway. This weekend I think they'll go one step better, and I think they'll score another couple of goals, and I think they'll actually grind out a victory, and I've gone for West Ham 2, Swansea 1. Nathan's actually gone for a West Ham victory as well. As you know, Swansea have had an absolute horrendous time actually scoring goals this season. They've only scored 3 goals this term. They're going away from home again. Sometimes you don't know what team Swansea are going to turn up as, because as we've said in previous videos, they can go away and grind out a draw like they did against Tottenham a couple of weeks ago. They can go away against the likes of Manchester City, Man United, and get good results as well. However, this time Nathan's gone for a 1-0 victory for West Ham. Okay, the final match on Saturday is at 5:30, and this is the biggest match of the weekend as far as the Premier League is concerned. We've got Chelsea at home against Manchester City. Manchester City scoring like fun, scoring 5 goals here, 4 goals there, another 5 goals, absolutely obliterating teams. However, they are coming up against Chelsea, and Chelsea are on a fine run of form themselves. I've pondered on this one for a day or two. I've gone for a Chelsea win, then I've had a look and gone for Manchester City win, but I can actually see this going, I can actually see this being very close, and there will be goals, but it's going to be 1 apiece. So I've gone for Chelsea 1, Manchester City 1. Nathan's actually gone for a victory for one of the teams in this one. He said there's going to be goals in it, and he's gone for a 3-2 win for Manchester City. You can actually see them going to Stamford Bridge and getting that win. Okay, moving on to the Sunday fixtures, and we have Arsenal versus Brighton. Arsenal had a good victory on Monday evening against West Brom, where they ground out a 2-0 victory. Brighton as well are in fine form. They're going into this match they're on a run of 2 victories, but I think the Gunners are going to be too strong for the Seagulls, and I can see Arsenal running out with a 2-0 victory. Nathan, he's actually gone for an Arsenal victory as well. He thinks it's going to be a little bit tighter, and he's gone for a 1-0 win for the Gunners. So moving on to the 2:15 kickoff on Sunday is Everton versus Burnley. Burnley have had a half-decent start to the season, grinding out away wins, away draws. And with this one though, Everton have had a very, very tough start to the season. They won, of course, last week by beating Bournemouth 2-1, and I can actually see them doing the same again. And I can actually see the same results. I've gone for Everton 2, Burnley 1. Moving on to Nathan's result, he actually thinks Burnley are going to go away and actually score a couple of goals there, and he's gone for a 2-2 draw. Moving on to the final fixture of the weekend, it's Newcastle United versus Liverpool. Newcastle, of course, they started quite badly this season. They lost those first 2 matches, and they followed that up with 3 victories. Last week, of course, they lost against Brighton 2-1. This has been a real head scratcher for me. Do I go for a Newcastle victory? Do I go for a Liverpool victory? You don't know from week to week which Liverpool side is going to turn up. Is it going to be the one who absolutely obliterates sides with their forward play, or are they just going to cower, concede lots of goals, and let the game slip away from them? However, I've actually gone for a 2-2 draw. There will be goals. I can see goals for Newcastle, backed by their fans, of course. Liverpool, I think Mane could be back for this match. The likes of Coutinho, Mane, Salah and Firmino up front, and I can actually see them scoring a couple of goals. So I've gone for that 2-2 draw. Nathan, for this match, he's actually predicted a Liverpool victory. He thinks the Liverpool front line is going to be too much for Newcastle, and he's gone for the 2-1 victory for Liverpool. So that rounds up the predictions of week 7 of the Premier League season. If you're not already a subscriber, remember to subscribe so you don't miss any future content. But for now, I'll bid you farewell and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers guys!